That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Oh, no tears, please. It's a waste of good suffering.
Fairly alarmed here.
Welcome to MOTN Presents Random Select, also known as Masters of the Nerdiverse Presents Random Select, where we choose 8 random films and pit them against each other in a brutal street fight until only one can claim to be the victor. I'm, of course, your host, Mike G. And with me, as always, is my cunning cohort, Winter Trash Monk III.
What do you got? What do you have?
And back with us for these bloody fights is Brian, man. The man.
I want to see blood, bro. What's going on? Glad to be back. Thanks for having me.
You're going to see, there will be blood for this episode. I guarantee.
I'm drinking your milkshake.
I drink your milkshake. I'll drink it right up. We could just have a Daniel Day-Lewis cast if you want it.
I'll just do my left foot.
My
left foot. Yeah.
My left foot. But we're here to... Very good movie. But also good movies are horror movies, guys. Scary movies. Movies your parents wouldn't let you watch, man. Because they were too scary. And now we're on the second part of our semi-finals, dudes.
But yeah, it's getting real. Hard cuts.
Hashtag hard cuts. You look into the pit, there's just 1,000 Mila Jovoviches in the red dress, just piled on top of each other. Weird shots, dude.
Disturbing image, but thank you.
Yeah.
That's a scene from Resident Evil Apocalypse.
Mike G said that, not me, everybody.
It's in Resident Evil movie, dude.
Who really saw anything past first one?
I know.
I mean, I watched all of them.
I reluctantly.
Yeah.
Did you? You remind me of Thor and Ragnarok. Did you really?
Unfortunately,
Did you
yes.
see them?
I didn't buy them, but I watched them.
I think I deleted them from memory as soon as they were over.
I buy that for... Isn't that one series I wish they'd just do right? Anyway, let's talk about 2 movies that were done right because they made it to the semifinals. One is, what was it, 1956? I believe so. Thing from Another World?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And also Stewart, Re-Animator.
1951.
51, thank you. This is why I shot the ball at Bricked and Winter just slammed it in like Sean Kemp, dog.
And Re-Animator is 1985.
Good year to be alive, 1985.
I love the 80s, but different show.
Different show. That was a whole different show on VH1.
Yeah.
Man.
Just to remind people, I was not alive yet.
Dang. Winter needs it to be known that he didn't exist yet. So the world was a darker place.
Nope.
Now that we got that out of the way.
I'm just young.
Speaking of this age cast, let's talk about these movies, man. So, Brian, what would you say is your favorite part of Thing from Another World?
Thing from Another World, I'm sorry. Like, that thing just kept coming. Like, it was terrifying to be trapped in a small space in the middle of winter or the Arctic. And, there's just a thing that keeps coming after you. It is literally probably what I grew up scared of the most.
Yeah, man. The constant fear that this thing is just outside, just running around, checking your structural weaknesses.
It's
getting
not necessarily outside, bro.
It's in the house, dog.
Outside, yeah. Oh, by the way, I saw in your poll that to go on, different show. Moving on.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh.
Teaser for the weekly show.
Teaser. So, Winter, what would you say is your favorite thing about The Thing from Another World?
I mean, if we were going to start a class or a degree program for horror movies or movies in general, I think The Thing from Another World would be on that list as a prerequisite.
Ooh.
Just because you could do a whole lesson on movies that are then adapted but changed dramatically or changed to fit a different audience, but still kind of holding on to some of the things that makes the movie good. I think it's a great, like a time capsule type thing of movies from the 50s that are still important to watch today.
Absolutely. I think that Thing from Another World is up there with, Dracula, The Blob, you know what I mean? Frankenstein as, required watching, you know what I mean? Yeah. And of course, a movie that we'll be talking about later, but I'll leave that to another episode of MOTN Presents Random Select. I would say that my favorite part of The Thing from Another World was the machinations of the of the scientist. I think that's kind of the part that got under my skin the most, was how this doctor had didn't even have the human race in mind. And his sciences was just only the furtherment of science, even if it meant the sacrifice of the entire Arctic base.
Some things have to be sacrificed in the name of science.
He was like, I think, and I said it in the original episode of that match, it was like, when he said that if we are to stand here and die, then let it be so if it is to further science. I was like, yeah, get this guy out of here, man.
That's great.
Lock him in a room, dude. Just lock him in like the basement and let him chill there until we sort this out. Because he's not helping you, man. His ideals are not towards the human race. But Winner, let's talk about Re-Animator for a second. What would you say is your favorite aspect or part about Re-Animator, dude?
Well, it kind of takes the zombie genre and flips it on its head, where it's not necessarily people just wake up one day or like they're dead and then they come alive, but it's scientists messing with nature. And also, it destroys the stereotype, right? Of like, if you sever the head from the body, the zombie will be dead.
Right.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
Not in this movie or in Return of the Living Dead.
Nope.
If that's the case.
Which is fascinating that he solved death on a cellular level.
Right.
Like, that's the part where it's like the foot will just keep hopping. You know what I mean? That's crazy. Brian, what would you say is your favorite thing about Re-Animator?
I had some time to also think about this, and I want to say that he just kept coming, much like The Thing, bro. He wouldn't stop. After the cat, okay? After the cat. Actually, the dude wound up at that university because of what went down in the London University, wherever he was at.
Right.
Look, man, he just kept going, and each idea got worse. And he's like, no, we got to do this. We got to do this. And I can appreciate that coming from a horror movie point of view, because some of the scariest things on Earth are things that just keep coming at you.
Yeah.
They, reach out and touch you, like Freddy Krueger just keeps coming because you're asleep in your dreams. Jason keeps coming. The list goes on.
Mm-hmm.
Frightening features in Hollywood. This just so happened to be a scientist.
Dude. And when you said that,
I don't know if there's a theme with the scientist in the Halloween I hadn't considered.
I know, because there's a funny little link to Herbert West in The Scientist and Thing from Another World, isn't there? Like, they are both just relentless in their work to the point where human lives no longer matter. And when you're rounding off that list of unstoppable killing machines, the one literal unstoppable killing machine that came to mind was the T-800 in the original The Terminator.
Keeps coming.
Keeps coming. It absolutely will not stop. Ever.
The alien.
Until you're dead.
Coming. No, dude. That's terrifying.
Terrifying. It doesn't eat. It doesn't sleep. It can't be reasoned with. And Herbert West is the same way. He's so dead set on his work. And I think that's my favorite part about this movie, is how charismatic Herbert West is as a character. That he's funny, he's sharp, he's witty, he knows he's the smartest guy in the room. There's a scene where the kind of antagonist professor is giving this lecture, and Herbert West just keeps breaking pencils to break his concentration because he knows what he's talking about is utter nonsense because he's figured out, everything this guy's talking about is wrong. It's like being an art major and the teacher's going over rudimentary arts, like art techniques. And you know better stuff. You're just sitting there like, I'm not learning anything hearing this. I'm spending money and I'm not learning anything.
Same actor that plays him is a guy who plays the Andorian leader in Star Trek Enterprise, just to let everyone know.
Ooh, fun fact.
Jeremy Combs, I believe.
Jeffrey Combs.
Combs.
Winter with the fun facts for the win, dude. I'm loving it. And also, of course, the most iconic scene of the movie that needs no introduction or repeating. You know what I'm talking about. If you
don't know it.
No, you just. I think Random Select has become a contest of how many times Michael can be said isolating himself, saying horrible things.
You're talking about the cat scene, right?
Yes, let's talk about. I will say the cat scene as I look around my shoulders. So, all right, guys, enough. Table tennis. It's time to get into some hardcore war. Winter, who do you got? Who do you have in this fight between these titans? What's the better film?
Well, as I said before, The Thing from Another Planet, The Thing. We're just gonna say 1951's The Thing.
That's fine.
Yeah, that is a prerequisite for people to watch if they're going to get their card stamped of being students of horror.
Yeah,
but I have to go with my gut here.
Mm-hmm.
And I do think the Re-Animator has more to it. Just for a modern audience that is probably not necessarily wanting to be students of horror, but they're wanting to watch a movie. I would put Re-Animator because it deals with stuff that we still go on today. For instance, like we scientists asked if they could do something, but they never asked should they. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
So I think it still plays on that, and there's fun bits, and it's a zombie movie.
Oh, I'm gonna go next because this is really hard. I'm actually thinking about this really hard, and I don't know what to say. Like it's tough because on one hand, Thing from Another World is, like you said, a very ground roots horror film that was so influential to other horror films down the road. The unstoppableness of The Thing, the scene where they burn him in kerosene and he's going full blaze in the 50s. Like, how was that shot? The evil scientist. It's just so iconic, but at the same time, Re-Animator plays with so many things at the same time. It's a twist on the zombie trope where you're alive, but you're kind of in full faculty, especially if you're the doctor. And it has Lovecraft influence, and I'm not going to sit here and say that H.P. Lovecraft is a quality human because he wasn't. But I will say that he wrote some pretty interesting stuff. I couldn't help it, man. I'm tired of like this.
Leave him alone.
Leave him alone. Leave her alone. It's kind of like how people idolize Edgar Allan Poe. It's just, I don't know.
Wow, you're just throwing everyone under the bus.
Just those two. Just those two. They know what they did. But Re-Animator is just a ball, isn't it? It's just fun, wacky hijinks and horror. But my gut on this one is going Thing from Another World. I just think it means more to horror, even though Re-Animator is fun, but the better film and the inner workings of movies, and something's just calling me to Thing from Another World. So I think that's going to be my vote.
For our next random select, I think we need to enter our answers before we get to the podcast. Because, I'm like you, Mike G. I could go either way on this one. Like, they're really good films in their own special way. The Thing from Another World I like about it for the more modern audience is it has the alien vibe going. It's a contained, terrifying story. Mm-hmm. Terrifying thing. For Re-Animator, it's fun. It's a zombie movie, it keeps coming at you, but it also lacks a tad bit of depth. And it knows what it is. I'm not going that far. And the headless scene is killing me because the headless zombie is fantastic. But if I'm putting these two in like a death match against each other, and I'm going, which is the better Halloween and slash, what is the better film? That's The Thing from Another World, man.
Oh, man.
Sorry,
you know what's weird?
Bro. That's The Thing from Another World.
I went into this thinking it's going to be Re-Animator. Eat two Brutus.
Which is interesting because we all picked Re-Animator in that very first round when it was going against them.
Mm-hmm.
We've had a tad bit of a change. And, you know, I mean, for the love of God, Thing from Another World, you take away the black and white and it's like, damn, this thing holds up, bro. And that's 1951.
It was so
not good at math, but
that's a long ass time.
That's a long ass time. And yeah, no, top to bottom, pretty damn good movie.
I went into this thinking Re-Animator, but after hearing us talk and thinking about it more, dang, I didn't think it was going to happen. But this is Random Select #Hard Cuts. Thing from Another World, man. It's just a superior film. Like Winter said, it belongs in a museum. It's so good, and I think Re-Animator is a great horror film. It's a great film, but pitting these two titans together, Thing from Another World just ekes it out. I may feel different tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? But tonight,
I mean, you're correct. It's one of those.
it's really one of those.
And that's why I said I think it'd be interesting to put our answers down beforehand, because that way the conversation flows and the choices are locked in, and you know.
Makes sense. Well, definitely something we may want to do for the finals, man. You know,
was I influenced by what Winter had to say? Yeah. But also what Mike G had to say. But ultimately, for me, it comes down to the containment of that story, and that's a great story.
It's a great story, and it's one that's been replicated, much like The Thing. You know,
watch it,
please. I know it's an old movie. But there are things to pull from it that you will see in modern horror, and you'll be like, oh, okay, that's where that came from. The isolation. There's not much paranoia, but it is a siege movie, and it's tense, and you can't breathe for these people. And then the heat goes out, and they're just starting to freeze. It keeps hyping up. It's a bad
situation.
It's a rough situation, man, but a damn good movie. What do you think?
What do you think?
Nerdiverse, please tell us if we're right, wrong, or somewhere in the middle. On Twitter, @MNerdiverse, we'll be running a poll the day this episode comes out for this semifinal match. And you'll let us know which is the better film. Is it Re-Animator? Is it Thing from Another World? Please vote and let us know so we can acknowledge your thoughts and which one will be the people's champ versus us three Circes of the oceans. You know what I mean? Us three soothsayers, Doug.
And for the final battle, we have Creepshow versus A Thing from Another World.
Oh, I'm getting a stomachache thinking about it, man.
When we first started this.
I didn't think Thing was going to make it, man. I didn't think Thing was going to make it. I didn't think Creepshow was going to make it. I thought it was going to get sniped out, dude.
There you go. That's why we do this. #Hard Cuts, ladies and gentlemen.
But here we are, man. I'm so excited for the finals. Yeah. So as always, I want to thank Brian and Winter Trash Monk III for joining me on this amazing ride.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Time.
Absolutely. And I can't wait to the final round. So until then, if this is your first time listening to the podcast, I would like to be the first to thank you and welcome you to the Nerdiverse. I've, of course, been your host, Mike G, and I will always ask you to look towards the skies. Look towards the skis.